Well, hello kids, it's Jason Up, it's a new 80's Revolution. And I'm down here. I'm down here in the cave on Sunday, on day 4 of the 25 days of Christmas in the 80's. Yeah, I told you I was going to do it. Tonight is actually going to be the first time I pre-record. The first video that you're going to get from me during vacation, which will be the 9th, I believe. Yeah, we're driving on the 9th. So the first pre-recorded video you're going to get from me is taking a closer look at the Ghostbusters collection, because that's going to be the last time that those are ever displayed that way. We're going to condense. I am getting excited about the room remodel. I am. I mention that every time we tune in here, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're on December 4th. And then the vacation takes a big chunk of time, and then Christmas. I got a feeling like January 1st. Actually, it wouldn't even be January 1st. It would be like the day after Christmas. The day after Christmas, all this stuff is gone, obviously. The Christmas Eve, all this stuff is gone. All my stuff. All the stuff that I got for my boys. Santa's stuff obviously comes middle of the night. We've never really figured out a time. Why am I always eating candy? Because when I get packages from XOX, as you guys know, if you've ordered from her, she always sends candy. And I always open my package down here, and I leave the candy for future eating. So I don't think we're going to do it in the new year. I got a feeling with as much as I anticipate this, we're going to start it realistically. So Christmas is on a weekend, and then I'm just back to work. So I don't know, maybe the first, I don't know, maybe the last few nights of December we'll start down here. I know the order that I have to go in. I have to, all this stuff right here, all 80s stuff, right? I put up 2 brackets, and then I hung shelf hooks, and then put wood on all the shelves. So there's a lot right here that I'm staring at that has to go. I'm probably going to organize it with some Sterlite tubs. Usually when I remodel the room, everything goes on the floor, and that's a disaster. So I think I'm going to start getting tubs, bins, if you will. And I'm going to put this stuff in a bin and then just move it. Because if it's on the floor, it's a mess. It's awful when it's on. It's just overwhelming. It's anxiety producing. Anyway, what is it? 3 minutes before I got into the actual video. That was a lot of complaints early on in the channel's life. When we had not yet established a family. People were like, oh, this guy talked for like 10 minutes before he even showed us anything. And I'm like, where do you really have to be? Not you guys. You guys are my friends now. All right. So we've looked at the LJN box. We looked at the Dukes of Hazzard. Actually, the LJN box, I don't think we did. Days of Christmas. I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to recap everything we've watched. I won't remember, obviously. All right. We looked at an Atari box a while back. That was before we did the 25 Days of Christmas in the 80's. We looked at an Atari box. We've looked at Atari games up close. Well, let's take a look at my Nintendo packaging, shall we? Early on in the collection's life, I wanted to complete an NES game collection. And by complete, I mean I was probably not going to get some of the games that are stupid, ridiculous prices, ridiculous rarity. You know, like the Nintendo World Championship kart. That's like a $10,000 game. I think there's one called like Hot Tub Babes or something like that. Really, seriously. You know, that's like a $2,000 game. That was never going to happen. I don't know where I was going with that. I think I was just going to go and go and go. And I did. I got to about 400 and some change. So I have sold a few. I have sold about 10 or 15 games. Mostly like the off-brand, you know, weird gold carts or weird silver carts. You know, Bible adventures, games that, you know, fetch a little bit more. But I still have probably around 395 Nintendo games, of which 4 of them are good enough to be played. Well, during that time, I started to collect boxes. Some boxes have stuff in them, some don't, of NES stuff, Nintendo stuff. And I was watching a show early on in my early YouTube viewing. Some of the channels that kind of I don't know if they inspired me, because they don't do what I do, but they led me to want to make my own channel. One of them was called Pat the NES Punk, and I would watch it because I think he had a complete collection, and he would just like he would like do playthroughs and I don't know, like little skits, and he was gimmicky, and he was kind of an annoying fella. But I would watch his stuff, and he would buy and collect like all these box variants, right, of consoles and accessories. And so I was like, now remember, this is before this room was like caving in on itself, so I could just get stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna collect every Nintendo box there was, not for the games but for the systems. So I think the first one I started with was this, the Nintendo Action Set. And if you look, this must be late in the console's life, because it's the orange zapper. Now, I didn't do any research, but my memory tells me that they added orange to the zapper to make it look less like a real weapon, which it already looked less than a real weapon to begin with. I don't know if that's just my mind playing tricks on me, but I thought that I read that that's why we have an orange zapper. But here's the Nintendo Entertainment System Action Set. Of course, that means it comes with Mario and Duck Hunt. A couple of cool little accessories on the back that we may or may not see in a moment. And then, boom. And then, well, this one's actually pretty pathetic. The back of this box is horrible, actually. We've got a fun little family. Although, now why would I say that? Why would I say the back of this box is horrible? It's not. Because I love seeing these little family, you know, pictures of kids and their parents gathered around a 19-inch television, playing some Mario. Mom and dad are lovingly, you know, embracing the children, putting their hands on their shoulders, all smiling, which is nonsense, total nonsense, because in a minute, this dude's going to fall in a hole and he's going to smash the controller. And then, like, he's not going to let his brother play, and his brother's going to throw the controller. And the system's going to get knocked off the table, and then you're going to get the blue blinking screen. And the mother and father are going to fight. And, you know, they're going to get divorced. But anyway, it's a nice look. Oh, that's not right. That's 2022. We're talking 1980 something. Now the side of this box has a little bit of game previews, I guess. What do we got? We've got wow. So this game wise looks old, because they're showing Zelda, Rad Racer, Kung Fu, and Baseball, which are like all primitive 1985 titles. But this action set didn't come out in 85, I don't think, with the orange zapper. I don't know what the box... I don't think the box would have the copyright of the year. Well, yeah, it does. 87. 87, 89. So it looks like this box came out in 1989. Even though it has, like, the early primitive games. And it's got them... yeah, that's pretty cool. No one creates video hits like Nintendo, from epic adventures and authentic sports competitions to high-flying action and arcade classics. Yeah, that's weird. This box is 1989, and they're showing games that are so dated. I don't know. Maybe this was like a... I don't know. Did they just use a box and like redo the box with the orange gun? I don't know. But here you go. Best part of this box, of course, was that this was bought at Sears for $99.99. Yeah, $99.99 at Sears. Love that. In fact, when I display this, I set it like this on the shelf so that I can see the Sears label, because it's my favorite part of the box. All right, moving along. I again said I was going to collect as many of the boxes as I could. Here's your standard cheapie. This is your discounted Nintendo. This is just your control deck, no games. You know, since the beginning of time, we were getting, you know, Combat with the Atari, and then Pac-Man and Mario with the Nintendo. Now we have nothing. We have a control deck. Ugh, imagine that Christmas. If you got just this and didn't get a game, you know, you had to wait like at least into New Year's to get a game, because, you know, you're not getting something right after Christmas. This is $77.99 from Electronics Boutique. There's the label for that. $77.99, which I think is still overpriced for just a control deck. And it has some of the newer games on the side there. We've got Super Mario 3, Final Fantasy, Tetris, and the classic NES play-action football. This one came out in... well, nothing. It came out never. It never came out. There's no date on this box. It's 1990. So in 1990, we're getting gameless control decks that are still advertising NES play-action football. Never mind Tecmo Bowl. So this is cool. I like it. You know it's later in the series when they have that red strip across the top. Again, we have the family in the back. That's looks like they're playing Mario 3. We have Mullet Man there and his dad, and then, I don't know, the next door neighbor, who knows, playing. There's that. And then speaking of little red label, again, I think 1990. 92. Wow. 1992. The NES Challenge set that came with Mario 3. How about that? That's a nice package right there. No price sticker, I don't believe, but 1992, very, very, very late in the system's run. And the game's displayed on the back. Well, Mario 3's displayed on the back. On the side, we've got Dr. Mario, Final Fantasy, Tetris, and NES play-action football on the side. But I like this. I like this. That would have been a nice. That would have been a nice surprise. I mean, by this point, kids have got to be over Mario at Duck Hunt. I don't know if there were any Mario 2 sets. I doubt it. But a challenge set, Mario 3. That's pretty awesome. Here we have the plethora of NES accessories. We've got the wireless remote and 4-player play. Right. I'm sure that was foolproof, solid play. The NES wireless controller in 1992. The arcade pad, the 4-player port thingy, the NES Max, all the fun little. And you know what? None of the controllers were as good as the NES controller. Like this, you can't play with this. That's awful. You know, get the arcade feel. No, if you're used to playing on the Nintendo pad, you're not playing with this. Even this one's kind of crappy. I don't like that one either. But This is a nice little set, the challenge set. All right. Then my man Stephen Brown, formerly known as Big Beefcake, is trying to figure out what the heck to do. He wants to frame his power pad. Well, I've got a power pad here that is from some particular store, but I don't know what because the price tag is ripped off. But this is another, I don't know, another failed accessory. This actually came boxed with the NES in a set, and then obviously you could get it separately. This is the separate power pad. It's in here. It's a little bulky. It's a twister mat, right? Remember Twister, the game? It's basically a twister that you plug in somehow to your Nintendo. Well, not somehow, it's got a cord. And then you do stuff. Like, I don't know, you get this world-class track meet game free. And then you got to like run around on this thing. Kind of a primitive, Dance Revolution kind of deal. The NES Power Pad. I dig the Houston Oilers jersey on this fella. When did this come out? 88. And it had 3 games at the time. World-class track meet, super team games, and dance aerobics. And then right here we have my classic family scene of everybody enjoying a Saturday night with the NES Power Pad rocking super team games. But this kid looks like he's surfing. I don't know. Could you play like TNC Surf Design with the Power Pad? I don't know. He looks like he's having a good time. Mom and Dad. Let's see. Dad's got shoes on. I always dug that in the sitcoms where, like, of course, people are walking around with shoes on in their house. Has anybody in the history of the world ever wore shoes in their house? But again, I dig the 80's living room. Nice painted paneling. Yes, I noticed these things, guys. I like it. Everybody's excited. After that, they watch a little TGIF, some Urkel, was Step by Step on in 88. I don't know. The NES Power Pad. Like I said, it's in there. It's in here. All the other ones are empty. All those control decks and stuff, they're all empty. There was a time when I was paying like $50 or $60 for an empty box. Back in the day. All right, real quick. We've got the NES Advantage box. It is also in here. It's in there, I promise. In fact, it's even in there in the styrofoam. I never had this. I never wanted this. To me, the NES control, the brick, is the best controller ever. I like the Sega Genesis controller too a lot, and I like the PlayStation controller. I absolutely hate the what am I talking about? It's new stuff. But anyway, I got this at a flea market in town. The flea market that I go to on Sundays in the summer. I go a couple times a year. There's no point going every week, but some guy had 2 of these for 10 each, man. 10 each. Boxed NES Advantages with the styrofoam inside. Almost, maybe never used. I don't know. So for $10, I was like, get out of here. And I think I got the nicer of the 2. Like, there's some damage on it, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I never got into the other controllers. Maybe this was good for, the arcade action as these 2 fellas are enjoying, playing with their knob. Oh, look at that. They got their arm around each other. All right. We got some... Nothing. It's okay. Anyway, we got these guys having a good time. All right. Now we've got the Zapper. I swear I said playing with their knob before I noticed they had a loving embrace. It is also in here, I do declare. And I didn't know that the Zapper was sold separately in a box. So when you got the Nintendo, was the Zapper in this box in the system, or was the Zapper loose? My memory says it was loose, but apparently it was also sold separately. And I don't remember where I got this. This was either a toy show or eBay. Again, when I was in the heart of collecting Nintendo boxes. But Yeah, we got Hogan's Alley, Gotcha, or Operation Wolf, which I did not realize. Is Operation Wolf a Zapper game? But again, father, son, all having a good time, practicing their marksman skills. Unfortunately, these two kids grew up to be school shooters. That's right, because if you play with guns as a kid, you're going to be a school shooter. It's just fact. Unless you play with an orange gun. If it's orange, not like this one, you're good. Anyway, there's the Zapper. I like it. It's nice little packaging. So that's it. That's my NES console accessory packaging, day 4 of the 25 days of Christmas in the 80s. That's all. We're gonna go watch a Christmas parade now. I gotta toss around the football a little bit first, and then it's Christmas parade. All right, guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow with day 5. By the way, when I come down here and I'm like, all right, let me do day 4, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I can't get to that side of the room. I just look around and I'm like, oh, okay, let me do those. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. No clue. So day 5, no idea. Maybe the Chuck Norris stuff. I don't know. I really don't. Maybe a little bit more story time. I have no idea. But we'll see you for day 5 regardless. Good night now.